everyone here at Autos is really good at passing the guard, right? We've all drilled it so many times for the last years and years and years, right? Everyone has very good technique. One thing that I think a lot of us can improve on is actually maintaining side control and like making sure that once you pass the guard, the guy can't escape, okay? And that doesn't always mean that the guy's just like, sometimes they turn away, yes, sometimes they get an underhook, yes. There's a grip that I like to use that can really help you secure the position, so once you pass, it's like you stay there. And it like sort of guarantees that no matter where they go, you can follow them to like a more advantageous position. So you can do whatever pass you want. We're just like add some disguised repetition into our drilling, like just pass however you want here. And once you're in side control, you see a lot of this grip, right? You pass the lapel to here. This is a super strong grip. It is. However, we're not going to be doing this grip today. We're going to be doing something sort of opposite. But I like to pass the grip to this hand first, just to open the lapel. From here, when you put cross-face pressure, a lot of times the guy's going to lift his hips off the ground a little to relieve the pressure, right? He lifts his hips, and so it kind of turns his body, it takes some pressure off, and they start to create space like this. So when you feel them start to lift their hips, you're reaching under with the other hand, here. And what you're going to do is you're going to pass the lapel to this hand, like this. Now it's very important that the arm that has cross-face pressure stays over the top of his arm, here. So what we're doing is we're stopping him from being able to turn away by gripping this arm, and stopping him from being able to bridge and turn towards us with this grip here. So even if the guy is super strong and bridges like super hard into me, my shoulder is connected to his hip, all because of this grip here on the lapel. So it keeps me really tight to his hip so he doesn't have space to bring his knee in. Whereas if you leave this arm out and you're here and you have this grip, if he bridges super hard, nothing's there to stop his knees from coming in on my hips here and recovering. So you're going to be using the grip under the back. So you pass the grip once and you put shoulder pressure to try and get him to raise his hips a little. If he doesn't raise his hips, that's fine too. You're going to reach under his back. So if you don't raise your hips, like leave him here, you're just going to drive him over like to his side, then reach under and then roll him back and pass the grip. Once the grip is passed here, you have a lot of pressure to turn him over. Like the more you drive in, the more he's going to turn. And you kind of want to maintain the position here where he's turned away from you. Okay? Because if you can turn him on his side here with his hips facing away from you, he doesn't have any UPA power, right? You can't lift your hips off the ground because he can't plant both feet on the ground because he's turned away. And your shoulder is connected tight because of this grip. You're trying to keep your shoulder on his hip the whole time. Now, if you want him to turn away, you can cut this arm free. You can bring it to the outside and grab like a horse collar grip and continue to force him over. We do this sometimes anyways, like if the guy's in side control and you want to take the back, we underhook, grab the horseshoe grip, and like shrug him over, right? I'm sure you guys have seen that before. For this one though, once you have the grip under the back on this lapel here, it makes it much easier to bring him over if you want to. What I like to do from here is I like to bring my hand under and grab his collar, like this. So now we have a lot of pressure forcing him that way. This arm is underhooked on his shoulder here, driving him across. And then my bottom arm is on the lapel still, also rotating him across. And then he also naturally is going to want to turn away to try and escape, to scramble. But once you get the grip on the collar here, he can't really turn anymore because the more he turns, the more he gets choked. So what I'm doing is I'm forcing everything that way and then bringing my other hand back across his neck. Here. Now to finish the choke, all you're going to do is drop everything down and lift your elbow and drop your elbow to the mat while continuing trying to drive him up and across. Here. You gotta make sure you get a really tight grip though. You can't like just get your fingers in. You gotta make sure you get a full grip of the gi. Lift and then drop everything here. It works really well because most people, when you get the grip under the back like that, it feels like they have a bit of an escape, because if my arm's not here and he turns away, he can turn that way.
This way?
Yeah, that's fine. Like,
or this way?
Like that, yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
You would. Trust me. Because he can't turn into me, so his only option of escape here is to like turn away and turtle and try and get up. So you can catch a lot of people off guard with this. Like in the motion that they start to turn, you feel them start to turn away. Sometimes I'll catch my chin on their elbow to slow down the process, get my grip, and then I left elbow free so they can continue their motion. And then I drop my elbow down. Okay, so it's kind of like a paper cutter choke, but the paper cutter is over the arm, like this. Paper cutter looks like this here. We're under the arm, like this, and I want him to turn away because that's where I'm getting my leverage. But I need to have this lapel under his back to lift his weight and sort of like stack him on himself, lifting like that. Okay. This grip is really good in transition too. Like if you ever just pass someone's guard and you don't have that underhook yet, and he starts to try and turn, he's gonna turn away from me. See, he's gonna bring this arm underneath because he can't leave it here. Because if he tries to turn away now, just nothing happens. So if you get this grip on the collar, you can kind of bait people. He's gonna bring his arm underneath to try and escape and turn, and you can catch it with your head, and then drive in to finish. It's really simple, but it puts a lot of pressure on someone, and it's another attack you can do without any setup really. You can just get that grip, try and get them to turn away, sort of leave an opening, and then drop your elbow there. Okay? So this grip is really effective. Not only to set up this submission, but also it's really hard for the guy to escape here, especially if you kind of circle the north-south a little. If he tries to escape a little bit and move around a little, drop, by controlling this elbow and keeping my shoulder so tight to his hip, I have a lot of freedom to do whatever I want and control the position. And I usually like to just try and cup this elbow to make it even more secure. Okay? So let's just try that, setting up into the choke, and then I'm going to go over something else from there. Any questions? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.